Hello, this is Delmir and welcome to another repair video. In this video we're looking at this Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus, and as you can clearly see, it's got what looks like pretty much a bullet hole. From what I've been told, chair landed on it. That makes sense. Quite clearly we are going to be doing a screen replacement. Now if we're doing a screen replacement on an S24 Plus, as usual you do need to come in through the back first, disconnect the battery, and I'm going to probably end up removing the motherboard and the cameras as well. I think this is made of glass, so I do have to be a little bit on the careful side. It should come up at the beginning kind of hard, but as time goes by it should be a little bit easier to get up. So we're going to immediately start on that. Let's get that back cover off. So I'm going to be applying a bunch of heat. I always have myself starting at the bottom. I do like to heat up the entire phone first. Then once the phone is more or less up to temperature, then I can start focusing on that bottom there. Just looking for hot to the touch. Not burning, just hot. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now I got a suction cup here. I'm going to try using the suction cup to get this started. Sometimes this doesn't work, and then you have to fiddle around with it with a blade. Part of the issue is that it's cold again. I know this isn't anything particularly special, but this suction cup is substantially better than what I was using, which is this little guy here from the iFixit toolkit. I'm quite pleased with it. It's been remarkably helpful. Extremely helpful. It sticks a lot better. And yeah, it wasn't overly expensive. Somewhere around $10 if I remember correctly. So if you guys want one, I do have an Amazon affiliate link in the video description. I do make a little bit of a profit off of those, but yeah, they are there if you are needing them. So you can see I'm up somewhat now. I'm just going to keep on dribbling in alcohol just to get this going. I think this should be good enough. I'm going to use a plastic card to cut through the remaining adhesive, and if it starts getting extremely tough to get through it, I just need to dribble a little bit more alcohol to get that going, or even needing to add a bit more heat. You don't need to go in particularly far either with this. So you can clearly see it does go through pretty easily, especially when it's got a little bit of heat in it. That bottom part, it's a little bit more tricky, especially because the camera lenses. It's always a good idea to make sure that it's good and toasty. It's pretty much up. At this point, I'm not going to play around with this much more. I'm not going to try to cut through the adhesive, because this is pretty much up. There we go. I don't have a new adhesive seal for this, unfortunately, but fortunately, the original adhesive here is in extremely good condition. Now, I would usually recommend that you replace the adhesive, but if you can make sure that the original adhesive, is in extremely good condition, you can get away with it. In this occasion, I believe that I got away with it. What I do like to do immediately, though, for the old adhesive, just to make sure that it's good and happy, is you go over it with an alcohol swab. A swab with some alcohol in it, excuse me. 99% isopropyl alcohol is what I'm using. And just get any dirt that's in the corners out. It'll make it a lot more likely that it adheres back into place. You can also run it along here. Sometimes there's a bit of dirt along the edge. You can see it's coming away black. Okay, that's about as good as I can do. Put it to the side. Let's get this module out. We got to get this out as well. These are all Phillips screws, as far as I know. I usually use a Phillips 000. Okay, you just got this little cable here to unplug. You can peel this away here if you want. It seems like this is going to come away pretty easily. There we go. From my experience, usually this is how it ends up, because the adhesive on the bottom of that speaker is pretty tough. Let's unplug the battery. There we go. And you got to get this out, and that cable, actually get all three of them out. This right here is in fact the back of the screen. Like before, this one right here, the camera has been stuck into the frame. I've seen this before. They've been doing this a lot recently, all the way back to the S20, maybe even earlier than that. I'm going to see if I can get away with just leaving it in place. The camera modules themselves, they're all stuck on the back of this motherboard, so it should come out all as one unit, as you can see. The reason, as I said before, like the reason you're removing this is to protect those cameras. This is a very expensive unit. I think it's around $200 or so. You shouldn't need to remove the battery either. There is nothing behind it. With the older versions like the S10 and back, there was usually a little alcove right here between underneath the battery and the screen. So at that point it had been useful. It's not useful anymore. Now at this point we're going to get that screen out. It's pretty straightforward for this. It's not too difficult to get in there. It's just a matter of heating it up, getting something into there, whether getting a suction cup to pull up on the screen, or to get maybe a razor blade or a piece of metal, thin piece of metal like this. I like to start at the bottom, mostly just because there's a little spot that I can push on the back of the screen, which is very, very helpful. I'm only looking for a hot to the touch as usual. Hot to the touch. I'm not sure if this is going to work with the suction cup, simply because there's a crack in the screen. Because there's a crack in the screen, it can interrupt the suction. It's not working anyways. I'm going to heat it up again. I'm going to start pushing down right there. And just take a screwdriver and push. It's not working. Alright, I'm going to go in with a blade. Best place to start is where that spot is. Just get the blade down, then lift. Put a little alcohol in there as well, just to get this thing rolling. There, it went in. Went in a tiny, tiny amount. I usually use a dull one, and it's for the purpose of it's very tiny, and there's a chance that I could slip. So if you're going to use a razor blade like that, dull it up some. You know, just take it on a piece of rock or something, or sandpaper, or a tool like this where it's got that, you know, because you really don't want to hurt yourself. You'll slice yourself right open if that blade is sharp. I'm going to try pushing on the back again. It's coming. Okay. There's a little bit of a gap that's been made. Now we got a gap. I'm going to put in a card here. Very good. I can get started on cutting through this. They don't have a substantial amount of adhesive holding the screen in place. It's just, for the most part, it's all around the edges, and sometimes they put some adhesive down at the bottom there. Sometimes it's a bit more than that, but generally it's a pretty small amount of adhesive used. Because there's broken glass on this, it's not terrible. I am a little worried about down here, but if the screen is really badly broken, I would highly recommend that you wear some protective eyewear, because that glass will just ping right off, and if it goes in your eyes, that is not a fun day. I'm going to keep working on this off camera. This is going to be quite an annoying struggle. All I'm doing is I'm working along and I'm cutting through the adhesive underneath the screen. There isn't really anything that you need to be concerned about breaking. Okay, so I was wrong for the center. They have used a substantial amount of adhesive through the back of the phone, and I just wanted to mention that it's a significant amount. I am a little annoyed at this. Actually, no, it's pretty much exactly the amount that I thought. Okay, nothing big, no big deal. The screen is pulling away from the digitizer in a way that's not good, but it's not like it matters because the screen is dead. and the digitizer is dead. There is a little piece of plastic that I've never seen before. I think I know where it goes, but I've never seen this before. It's like a little piece of gelatinous material. This little guy right here. I think it goes in one of these holes. Now, because this is going to be an original screen that I'm using, it makes it so that, as far as I can recall, the fingerprint reader will still work. I would usually like this face cam to have been removed. It's just, I'm a little concerned because of the amount of the material they've got around it that I could end up damaging the lens in the process of trying to get it out. So I'm going to leave it in place for the moment. Unless I feel that I'm going to gum it up. Here's the final bit. I'm just peeling it off. It's coming off pretty nice. Wow, is that adhesive ever sticky. I'm going to put this little guy to the side. You see this right here? Look at that dent from the chair. It really smucked it. I've seen worse. But yeah, it hit it pretty bad. You'll also notice that this little foam piece of material has also come out. And it goes right here. So if it's come out, you can try just putting it back in and see if it stays. If it doesn't, then just take a little bit of E8000 glue. That's this stuff right here. Take a little E8000 glue and just put a tiniest dab underneath there and then put it in place. It dries relatively fast. It more or less sets in about 10 minutes. It takes, I think, upwards of 24 hours to fully cure, but that first 10 minutes does wonders. So let's just get out this old adhesive here. It's going to be a little bit difficult because this is a plastic layer that they use on these. The middle is a bit different. It's not really adhesive in the normal sense. It's kind of like a rubber gasket. There's no stickiness to it at all. And I think the new screen has that material as well. If it doesn't, I'll have to put down some adhesive. Now, a lot of times with these screens, they do have a lot of dirt around the edges. So I recommend giving this a good cleaning before you put the adhesive in and before installing the new screen. You see, there's a lot of dirt in these corners and along the top, especially where the ear would be put against the phone for the earpiece. The only thing that I'm wondering about, and I don't recall seeing this with the S24 that I've worked with in the past, is this little chunk of plastic. I have no idea where it came from. The only thing I can think of is it might have come from here or like there. I'm going to do a little bit of research just in case, because I don't want to leave a piece of material out that is in fact supposed to be inside the phone. I found it originally around here, so I'm going to guess it's probably from one of these three holes. Okay, so after a lot of research, I've discovered what that little piece of silicone adhesive is. It's related to this, as far as I can tell, because this right here is silicone. This little thing along here is silicone. And if you look on the back right here, there is silicone in that hole, and there was silicone in that hole. So I don't know how important it is to put it back. Where'd it go? There it is. I don't know how important it is to put it back. I might not even be able to put it back in there, but I'm going to try putting it back in. It's not incredibly important to put back in because, I mean, the whole point of why this was filled up was because you needed a pocket to go in and you needed one to come out. And that's it. So I might just fill it up with glue exactly as it already is in the first place. Yeah, it's not going in. But that's where it's from. It's not from around here. It's from this hole right in that corner. So if you're wondering, you got a little piece of silicone that's popped out of your phone, I'm tossing it in the garbage. That's what it is. And that's why I probably haven't encountered it in the past because, well, it's just never come out before. Interesting. So taking a quick gander at the new screen, I'm just checking the bottom here. There's clearly no adhesive no adhesive strip on the bottom of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a small, tiny piece of adhesive in the center of this right here, just right across here, to create a base layer so that it'll resemble the original silicone that was on the back of the old screen. And then I'm going to fill in the rest with the 8000 glue on the sides. And that will make a rubber gasket that's very similar to what was there originally. It's not going to be as pliable, but it will hold very well in place. So this is just M3 adhesive material. I think it's just the 1 or 2 millimeter stuff. I can't remember which. It's extremely sticky. But what I'm going to do is take this little guy and I'm going to stick it right at the bottom right here. Like that. Then I'm going to put glue along this side. I'm going to fill in this hole here with the glue and the glue along this side as well. That should do the trick. Alright, we're on to the very last step. Actually, I shouldn't have taken the adhesive backing off yet. Oh, I'm supposed to test the screen first. I'm being silly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a card in place for now to prevent, maybe even a couple of cards to prevent this from sticking down. You can put the motherboard back into the phone. Now, if you guys are liking my videos and my content and finding it very useful, you think you're going to come back and you're going to watch more of my stuff, I would really would love to see you guys subscribe. It really helped me out on my goal to reaching 1,000 subscribers and hopefully marching on beyond 1,000 subscribers even. Wouldn't that be awesome? So this right here is the cable specifically for the screen itself. I'm just going to push that in right now. You got to be careful because this is the back of the screen. You do not want to damage this. I'm not removing any of the adhesive until I'm absolutely sure everything is working properly. Slide it in. Let's give this a good old test. This is about all you need for testing. With this phone, the power button is integrated in behind the motherboard. So some phones it's a little bit more precarious, but this one should be fine. Let's turn it on. We need to test the digitizer and make sure the digitizer is working properly as well. So I got to remove this. Now, if it's not working, if the power button is not working, I'm pretty sure this has to have some battery in it. Hold down the motherboard a little bit more firmly to the frame of the phone and then try pressing the button again. It's likely that the connectors are just not making enough connection. So there you go. Now what you're looking for with new screens like this is you're wanting to make sure that the digitizer is working perfectly, that there is no dead spots for the digitizer, and you're looking also for any damage to the screen itself. You're looking for blemishes, light spots, dead pixels, stuff like that. No dead spots. Excellent. So I'm going to turn the phone off and we're going to get the rest of this installed. It seems that the screen is working very well. I'm not seeing any issues. Now there is something that you can do if you're wanting to test the screen. Now it's *#0 *#. You can go into here and you can check the colors, such as making sure that it's red, the green, the blue, and it helps you to make sure that your colors are all correct and there's not any dead spots. It's a bit of a testing mode. Once again, it's *#0 *#, and it's great for checking for issues. Here's another one for touch. This will help also if you're looking for dead spots in the digitizer. Test complete. There's nothing else to do in here. I'm going to turn the phone off now, and we're going to get this screen fully installed. First, we're disconnecting the battery like before. You really want to make sure the battery's disconnected for this bit. And I'm going to disconnect the cable that goes to the screen. Gently let the screen fall away from the phone. That. And put this aside just for the moment. Get those cards out. Everything's in place except putting down that E8000 glue down at the bottom, and we are ready to put it in. So, get this off. I believe I'm ready. I'm a little nervous sometimes, with this because it is a very expensive screen. It's way over, it's around $250, $260 for that screen. So you want to make sure that once you got it in, you know, that it is good. Let's put a nice bead of glue across here. Now let's just take off this backing. There's no adhesive on this at all. It's just there to protect it from scratches and bumps and thumps and stuff like that. Now I'm putting force on the bottom, making sure that it's in place properly as I slip this in. And that is very cozy snug. I haven't pressed it down yet. I'm just giving it a good gander first. This isn't really necessary. I just want to decrease fingerprints on the screen. I'm probably going to give the phone a bit of a cleaning anyways after I've got everything installed. Everything's plugged back in. Now we just got to go and put everything back together. Now I did notice that there is a little bit of dirt on the speaker itself. This is pretty easy to clean off for the most part. I usually just take a cotton swab and just give it a light wipe down. If you use too much, you'll take the little mesh off, which isn't a big deal. You just got to be extra careful because then the speaker is open to the elements. There we go. Good and clean. That's the speaker for the earpiece, I believe. There's a gasket around it. It does get dirty relatively easily because Samsung stopped putting a mesh at the top. It just goes right into the back. There's nothing protecting it. Now we just got to throw those screws back in. I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, we're on to the final step. Now before I put the back into place, there's something I do want to do. I want to test it. I just want to make sure that everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing still. No issues there. It's working great. Excellent. Let's put that back into place. No screws missing. I'm just going to double check the lenses themselves to make sure that they are clean on the inside and the outside. I see something. I just want to triple check. If you see dust on the camera lenses on the inside, those protective covers, take one of these lens cleaners. Don't put the Q-tip in itself. It'll leave fibers behind. But if you can put it like this, and then you just move it around like this, it helps a lot. It was a scratch on the lens itself, on the outside. That's a rarity. So I am fully ready to go and put this in. Start from the top, you make sure it's well seated, then just push it down. And that's it. This phone is done and dusted. And that's all there is to it. Screen is completely done. It looks great. It's nice and bright, and it's doing exactly, as I like to say, it is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. So, if you guys liked the video and you found it helpful, please do leave a like. And if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another video. Bye.